There's never been a better time to have SiriusXM. With even more exclusive content, with over 150 channels in your vehicle, including the widest, deepest variety of music, ad-free. Root for your team. Get news. Listen to whatever makes you laugh. And hear all about your favorite stars. Your Platinum Plan offer includes more than ever before to enjoy online, on your phone, or at home. Create your own ad-free personalized stations powered by Pandora. Hear ad-free extra channels filled with music and enjoy a favorite shows with SiriusXM Video. Thousands of hours of shows and performances on demand. What you love is on now.
When it comes to the sound editing category, well, there's one brand that's been there from the beginning and arguably can say created the category, and that is, of course, Dynamat. But Dynamat's evolved so much over the last few years, especially recently. New leadership means new applications, new research and development, and new products. Today, we've got their product expert, Duane Gray, in the studio with us to go over it all. So that's it. This is CMA Connected, presented by SiriusXM Dynamat. And it starts now. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. And you know what? The term Dynamat, yes, I said term, is actually a thing. You know, can you give me a Kleenex? Are you going to dynamite that car? It's kind of become a verb because really they were the first. I remember way back, I went to a SEMA and I've been in their booth and I said, wow, does this stuff make a difference? And here we are. It's a huge category. It's exploded. Many different offerings within the category. But today we're going to be sitting down with the brand that has been there from the beginning and has way more to offer than you might know about. But we're going to talk all about that today. First, we're going to bring on their Canadian distributor representing Gemsen, Mr. Dave Singh, their national sales manager.
Hey, Ben. Good to see you.
Always great to have you back, Dave. We're switching gears now. We're getting into accessories. And within that accessories category, of course, sound editing represents a big chunk of that because it isn't a very important and sometimes overlooked category for many dealers out there. And, you know, when it comes to sound editing, obviously, you guys, Gemsen, have decided to partner up with one of the biggest and the baddest and the OGs, Dynamat. So tell us about that partnership. And of all the brands you could have chosen, why Dynamat?
Well, you know, the sound deadening category, it's definitely, saturated. Prior to partnering with Dynamat, we used to get emails all the time from, companies overseas in China and that sort of stuff looking to, they're making a product, they say, and they're okay with people private labeling it and getting into the sound deadening game. But, that wasn't the direction we wanted to go into. We wanted to partner with a company that was well established, and Dynamat's been around for a long time, like you said. Dynamat, was around before I got into the industry, and that was well over 2 decades ago. So Gemsen takes pride in having partnerships with brands that are basically legacy brands, and Dynamat was a perfect fit. Dynamat specializes. I mean, their whole company, the only thing that they do is specialize in sound control. So, we wanted to work with specialty companies that, live, eat, and breathe their specific categories. And for us, Dynamat was the only brand that made sense.
No, absolutely. And that continues to be true. We're going to cover a lot today because, like I mentioned, there's a lot that Dynamat offers that you might not be aware of. And hopefully we're going to cover all that. What are you hoping that dealers take away? Because, we're talking about a category like I'm trying to explain. There's dealers that are totally on board with it and pretty much won't let a single car out of their bay without having some type of sound dampening material. And then there's others like, I'll sell it if the customer wants it. I'd like to hear what you really want dealers to take away from today's episode.
Well, I'm hoping that dealers are going to recognize the fact that they're leaving, money and performance, on the table if they're not engaging all their customers in the, buying this product. Not only does it make a performance difference in terms of aftermarket audio, but there is a significant difference in overall ride quality. So perhaps your customer isn't necessarily looking for solutions to make their new 6.5 sound better. They may just want their Kia to be a little bit more quieter, on those long road trips. And Dynamat has all kinds of solutions, different products for different categories, that'll help you achieve that ultimate ride and ultimate entertainment experience.
And you know what? To add to that, Dave, maybe a few more applications than you even knew about, because there's some new ones we're going to talk about today.
Absolutely.
All right. So before we get started, we've got Duane in the studio getting ready. We have a little short reel that we want to play to kind of show you how modern Dynamat has become recently. Let's roll the tape. Well, Dave, I don't know about you, but I'm in the mood to discover the Dynamat difference. How about you?
Absolutely. We got a chance to see a quick glimpse of just some of the categories. There's a lot more to talk about.
There's so much more, and we're going to dive right in. So before further ado, let's go ahead and invite our product expert into the studio. He is the national sales manager for Dynamat for many years. Please welcome Mr. Duane Gray to the show.
How you doing, Ben? Dave?
Duane, fantastic to have you back, sir.
Great to be back.
Dynamat, leader in the category, OG. If you don't know what that term means, it means original gangster, which is a good thing. And why is it, with Dave had made mention, it's kind of a saturated market. Unfortunately, there's a lot of brands, a lot of in and out brands, I'll call them, that nobody really knows who they are. They just kind of show up. But why is now more significant than ever that Dynamat continues to lead in this category?
A couple things. One, I look at the products that dealers initially deal with every day. So you have head units, speakers, amplifiers, subwoofers, and so forth. And I look at the margins, that they make, especially on head units, which have dropped significantly over the years. You rely on categories that can definitely bring back that profit margin, back to the table. So Dynamat, let's face it, product that won't break. There's no firmware updates. There's no moving parts. The product is just pure profit for the dealer in the long run. I also look at the history with Dynamat. We started this more than 30 years ago, and we actually created this vertical. We're very actively staying involved in the social media, product development, just staying abreast of what's going on in this vertical, and where we need to be. We're branching out into marine and RV, so there's exposure. We're certainly involved with Knowledge Fest and SEMA. We want to make sure we have that presence out there. So history is a big thing as well.
Absolutely. And you mentioned no firmware updates. I think that's awesome. But there's also no real tech support, no real returns. The stuff just works out the door, it sticks, and it works, right? I mean, that's peace of mind, especially some of the bigger ticket items. If you take sound dampening as a category more seriously and offer those big packages where you're doing the entire vehicle, let's say, rest assured that a similar type job of that value has a lot more caveats with it than something like this.
Exactly. You can certainly build value into adding our product to any application. It just doesn't have to be about audio. It can be a great standalone product, and customers, lighter vehicles, the restraints they have now on how heavy these vehicles are, they're putting flimsier panels in these cars. So they do make a lot more noise. And that's where you can't just think about, audio is still a big thing, but let's think about it as a standalone as well.
Absolutely. And I think we're gonna talk about one vehicle platform in particular, which is a high ticket item with surprisingly noisy interior that you've got some solutions for. I'll let you be able to talk about that, Duane. Can you give us an overview though of what we're gonna learn about today?
So I think I want to start out and talk about some of the other products and opportunities. I think we always think about just the standard damping material, the Extreme. And, let's face it, there's two things that we primarily focus on, and that's unwanted noise and unwanted heat. And we have solutions to address those two items. So I'm going to basically educate our guys on, some other opportunities and to address those two focal points. So and we're going to talk a little bit about the CCK, which is our acronym for the custom cut kits, and what we're doing with that, how we're developing that, and maybe even talk a little bit about some sales techniques. Talk a little bit about about attachment selling, some things that can help out and just bring awareness to this category. Because let's face it, this is a category that sometimes it can be an out of sight, out of mind. You're talking about the other products, and Dynamat sometimes or this category can take a back seat. And I think we should talk about that a little bit as well.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Well, I'm excited. Let's get you all set up. Duane, looking forward to your presentation, and take it away. You have the stage, sir.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's dive right into this. Let's start out talking about the products. So as you can see, this is our product suite of both automotive, car audio, and architectural home products. So for counterclockwise, we start out with the Dynamat Extreme. And let me go to the next slide here. Okay, So Dynamat Extreme, I just wanted to touch a little bit on this. This is a product that we've had in our mix since 1999. We've seen no reason to change it. It still maintains some of the highest damping effectiveness or efficiency out there today. This is a product that we use all butyl rubber. We don't use any type of fillers like asphaltic or tar-based compounds. We use a true aluminum foil. It's not like some of these thinner type foils that you see out there. It's a 4 mil thick. So again, there's two ways that you achieve damping, and that is the weight, which is mass loading, and how thick the aluminum is. And with the formula that we developed that many years back, it's really maintained that particular damping effectiveness. And the other thing is we base everything on the physics or the results we're trying to achieve. So when we talk about damping, the most common issue is heat. And heat is what breaks down, a damping product. So with butyl, we can withstand heat up to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. The next product I would want to talk about would be Super Light, which is lighter and thinner than a Dynamat Extreme. So it's a 2 mil thick aluminum versus a 4, and it's 30% lighter. So there's two things we wanted to address here. One is for the customer that comes into your store, that is maybe the tuner guy that maybe races the vehicle. He wants a lighter product, but he still is looking for performance. So Super Light will give that to you. In fact, it actually has damping efficiencies up to 80% to the Dynamat Extreme. We always say use Extreme first when you lay down. You want to lay this down first. But again, this was addressing weight was going to be an issue, and also a different price point. Super Light basically gives you a little bit of a savings as well, about $1.50 less per square foot than where Dynamat Extreme would be. So that was the two main things, weight and cost. Then we have our Dynaliner, which is our nitrobutadiene rubber closed cell foam. When I say closed cell, when you add this product to door panels, headliners, the floor, if it gets wet, it doesn't matter. It will displace mineral oil and water. So that's very important when we talk about having a thermal insulator. So, and we're going to talk more about how Dynaliner works with the Dynamat Extreme. And then we have Dynapad, and I'm just briefly touching on each one of these. So Dynapad is a 4-layer composite barrier. It's a 1 pound per square foot vinyl. So this vinyl barrier basically has 2 layers of acoustic foam and sandwiched between that is an MLV, another acronym for mass loaded vinyl barrier. So this is a great product in terms for going under the carpet, in any vehicle or RV or even in a marine application where we're talking about isolating, engine noise, loud exhaust, tire harmonics. When we talk about the low drone sound that you get from tires, that helps to saturate those lower frequencies. And then we have hood liner, which hood liner is and by the way, all of the foam products come in a 32-inch by 54-inch, exception of our Dynadeck, which we'll talk about. So it's 12 square feet. Hood liner comes the same way, 12 square feet at 32 by 54. The material is an aluminized mylar, so it's reflective, meaning that it basically will block heat and actually block heat up to 97 degrees. So it's going to help to protect that paint finish on the hood of the vehicle. And also it's a barrier product. So the barrier will help to eliminate a lot of that engine noise coming into the vehicle. And then Dynadeck is a finished product. You're not utilizing carpeting. It's 3/8 of an inch thick. It does come in a larger offering, 54 inches wide. And then we have different lengths, 3, 6, 9, 12, up to a 25-foot roll, which is 112.5 square feet. But this has got the best of three worlds. It's a barrier for low frequency sound or for sound overall. It's also an insulator for heat. And then you have the finish, which is a textured 1 pound per square foot vinyl. And then just real quick, Dynaplate. We still sell a little bit of Dynaplate. We primarily used that over the earlier years with the DB drag and the IASCA events when we talked about sound pressure levels in vehicles, because obviously back then it was all about making the cars more rigid, making sure that you didn't have any flexing going on in the panels of the vehicle. So you would take this product and lay it over the holes in the door panels, in the package trays, in the A-pillars. And then you would add a layer of Dynamat Extreme over that. So I just wanted to briefly go over those. And then we'll go on to the next slide here. So we talk about, yes, we've started this vertical 30 plus, almost 32 years ago. And these 5 key features is what we talk about. Adhesion, we use butyl rubber. Again, we're not using fillers, so you don't have to use a heat gun to activate it. Thickness, remember we talked about being a key with damping with both the aluminum and the weight. So we use a 4 mil on the extreme. That covers the thickness. Effectiveness, we still maintain the highest damping effectiveness, even when and we have what's called a bell curve. And I won't go into detail with that, but basically when you increase the heat, how well does the product still continue to maintain damping? And our product will maintain damping up to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. And 5 is, we make our product here in the U.S. We don't source any other raw materials from other countries. All of the raw butyl and aluminum is shipped into our facility in Hamilton, Ohio. So we put it together there. We have an extruder. So we truly manufacture our product. That also means that our product is required to go through Federal Motor Safety Standard 302 testing. So there's certain guidelines that we have to follow as a manufacturer because we make it here and because it goes into a customer's vehicle. So we talk about Dynamat has multiple effects on the vehicle, and obviously we're going to control noise and the heat in any vehicle. We're going to talk about why. We're going to get a solid quality feel. Like when you shut your doors, it's going to sound more like a vault door. It's going to bring more perceived value back to the vehicle. So, and also get a relaxing, quiet ride. So this is going to lead into another slide. So again, we all like to maintain that 70 degrees in our vehicles, especially, when we first get back in the car, we've had it sitting in the sun all day. The radiant heat's been, the sun's been beating down the top of the hood of the vehicle. And, that's just not the real world. The car is obviously getting up to substantial temperatures and many times exceeding over 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's why we say with the Dynamat Extreme and the Dynaliner together, especially if we can utilize the 1/2-inch Dynaliner, we can reduce heat by 100 degrees. And that is a demonstrable difference in the comfort level when we talk about getting back into that vehicle after it's been sitting in the parking lot all day and having a more comfortable, cooler, quieter experience. So again, it's about how can we install a solid, high quality fill. Well, when you lay down the damping material with the aluminum and the butyl, it definitely makes. We talk about a door panel here. It makes it more rigid. So yes, quality, perceived quality is an increase in value. I think that's a great way to look at this. So again, it's all about lowering the noise floor in the vehicle so you can listen, to a conversation on your Bluetooth device. If you have an audio system, you can hear more music because you're getting more effective amplifier output. You can actually gain up to nearly a 3 dB, which is more than doubling your output in dynamic range on everything that you hear inside the vehicle. So again, these 3 slides that I just have been discussing, these are more about talking about Dynamat Extreme and Dynaliner together. So less driver fatigue. How often have you been in a car, been on a long trip, and you just feel beat up at the end of the trip? You just feel exhausted. You just feel like, man, this is only a couple 100-mile trip. I'm ready to go to bed. I'm just worn out. Again, it's a more relaxing, cool, quiet ride experience. So by adding Dynamat Extreme and Dynaliner together. Again, I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but again, conversations are more possible in the vehicle. You have improved use, especially because think about your phone. What is the person you're talking to on the other end? What are they hearing? They're hearing that road noise and that experience that you're going through in your vehicle. So by lowering that sound in the vehicle, that is what the end user or what the other person on the other end of the call is hearing, a more quieter, and now you guys have a clearer conversation. And again, adding the door kit will give you an average of a 3 dB gain. So basically like doubling your amplifier output. Ben, is there any way I could lower this, the private chat? So which products and where? When we talk about Dynamat Extreme, we talk about Dynamat Extreme first. So we say Dynamat first is Extreme. So that will go on any substrate in the vehicle, whether it's sheet metal, fiberglass, whatever the surface area is. That's where Dynamat Extreme is going to go. So it's going to go on floors, outer door skin, inner door skin, hatch areas, trunk areas, cargo areas, headliners. That's where it's, I think I did say outer inner as well as outer door skins as well. The more you add, obviously, the better. The higher percentage of overall damping effectiveness you will have. Dynaliner, same thing. Dynaliner obviously will be restricted to areas in your vehicle that allow so much depth. So if we talk about a headliner, we always say try to use the thicker material, the 1/2 inch, simply because you get it will block more heat. The 1/2 inch will give you a 100-degree heat reduction. The 1/4 inch gives you roughly about an 85-degree heat reduction. And then we use the 1/8 inch more as a added benefit to the Extreme in terms of damping, not so much for heat. But those are the two. So a 1/4 inch Dynaliner would probably be more utilized in door panels and package trays and trunk lids and hatches and so forth. Maybe not as much on a hood liner unless you have a larger vehicle where it accommodates that thicker material. So you would use the 1/4 inch. Okay. So here's another good topic. We spend a lot of time at Dynamat every day talking to dealers, consumers, asking, well, I've got XYZ vehicle. How much material do I need to utilize for my vehicle? So this pretty much is a square footage calculator, if you will, talking about how much material that you would use for whether it's a door panel or say, for example, for a 4-door sedan. We're talking about 36 square feet. So we're talking about a bulk pack. So as you have larger sheets and you have more material. So again, you can kind of go through there and see for each one of these that, we're obviously trying to be more time effective and looking at how much time we spend on the phone. So why not have something in play there where we can work off of that would give the consumer a quicker response. And a lot of your four-door sedans are very similar. So they're going to use a very similar amount of damping material. Okay. Custom cuts, custom cut kits. We have had in our offerings for more than, gosh, going on 12 years. I've been with the company for 15 years, and shortly thereafter we started working on the custom cuts. And at that time, if you owned anything from 50s, 60s, 70s, and some of the earlier 80 model vehicles, we more likely had a kit for it. And so what we mean by a kit these are die cut kits or CNC kits that we cut to a door panel, to a floor, to a headliner. And this is a perfect fitment, if you will, to take out the thinking process. Well, how much material do I need to utilize for this application? How many bulk packs? How many sheets of this and that? This is already factored in screw holes, anywhere where you need to notch it so that it fits in a specific area that's going to focus on damping. So if you're looking at this particular picture, you can kind of see how this is laid out. On average, when we apply a custom cut kit to a door panel, for example, we're going to be covering more surface area. So we're going to work on the inner as well as the outer door skin. So we always say a minimum of 30% surface area coverage. We're actually getting close to about 60%. So again, talking about the older vehicles. So in the last year and a half, we have really opened up a campaign of just, let's focus on more of the contemporary vehicles that are out there, like the 20 years old and 20-year-old and less. So we have introduced the Challenger, for example, the new Ford Bronco, the Ford F-150, what's the new one, the Ford Maverick. So we've got several of these vehicles already completed and already on our website. So again, this is literally peel and stick. We send a diagram, each one of these kits, you can see exactly where all the pieces go. And we're going to continue to grow this category. And just to kind of show you, again, computer generated cut pieces, you eliminate your calculations, templating and cutting. So we talk about no waste, because you're obviously, when you template out a sheet of Dynamat Extreme or Superlight, you're going to have some leftover products. So no waste. It's obviously a perceived value to the customer, because this is something that's just for your vehicle, and a customer's more likely to say, yes, this is made for my car. It is a little bit of an upcharge compared to this, if you were talking about just laying down bulk packs and covering doors and floors. But again, this is all about perceived value, and the customer knowing that they have this available for their car, they're going to be more likely to do it. It is a great upsell. And if you also think about throughput, in your install bay, how fast that you can turn vehicles, this will cut your install time down more than half, because by templating the vehicle out in the old way of using the larger sheets, it's going to cut your time down more than half. So we also look at you're going to be looking at your bottom line profit overall at the end. So again, we talk about no waste, value to the customer. It's an upsell, the throughput in your install bay, and your bottom line profit. And again, that's very important when we talk about these kits. And for what we're seeing out there, we are actually, I'm not sure what the vehicle count is right now, because we've been working on these for a long time. We have continued development going on with new vehicles, but there's not, as far as we know, any other companies out there that we know of right now that is going to this level in terms of offerings for the vehicle-specific kits, the custom cuts. Okay, let me just check one thing out here real quick. Still got a couple minutes left here. And this is a list of not all of the kits, but some of the older vehicles we were talking about, and of course, starting from the the Challenger from 70 to 74 and on down. There are, I think there's roughly 8 new vehicles that we've come out with just within these last 8 years. And the other thing, just real quick, I don't have a whole lot of time here left on this, but the Model 3 Tesla, we didn't actually go out and pursue Tesla for a kit for that vehicle. They came to us and asked, listen, we have a very exaggerated, we have a much exaggerated noise in the cabin of the vehicle. Obviously, you don't have the engine noise, but again, you have road noise. So they came to us and we had a solution, and we actually lowered the noise level by just shy of 5 dB. I think it was like 4.9 dB. So we talked about a door kit, for example, is 3 dB, more than double. Well, this is even more. So that's a demonstrable difference. And they were very satisfied with the results on that. We are the global leader. We have more than 50 countries that we currently sell to, with more than 16 distributors throughout these countries. Great partnerships with them. We have a division in Europe. It's called Dynamat Europe, and we do a lot with these folks. And we are continuing to grow, continuing to add more countries, and we're very excited about that. Well, that's what I have for today on this 20-minute segment here. So, Ben, if you want to chime back in, and Dave.
Absolutely. I mean, thanks for the great information. Very thorough. Of course, as usual, we've got a ton of questions for you. So I want to just touch on a couple of things that I think were real takeaways from that presentation. Number one, the custom cut kits. You're right, Duane. I mean, this is a unique offering, exclusive to Dynamat. I am not aware at this moment of this show of any other brand that actually provides such a product. Nor, if you think about the type of R&D that is involved in, producing said product, obviously it takes a lot. You got to template everything. Anybody's ever done any, sound deadening in a car knows that some vehicles are easier and you'll get away with an easy job. Other vehicles, oh my goodness, you're wondering, why did you even accept the job once you start taking away some of these panels?
Exactly.
Having you guys, as in Dynamat, go through all that work and all that templating leads me to this next comment. Mm-hmm. And that is, I always repeat this comment so the dealers understand. When there is a application specific, or in this case, a vehicle specific kit available on the market, your job as a dealer is to ensure A, that you are aware of said kits, but B, bring them up and present them to the customer when the opportunity arises. Because I'll tell you what, 9.5 times out of 10, a customer who's going to spend money on their vehicle will choose the application specifically designed for their vehicle.
Absolutely.
Every time. Right?
Yep,
Dave,
exactly.
Duane, I don't know if you agree with me.
No, I agree 100%. Again, it's something it's made for their vehicle, so they see more perceived value with that. And obviously, I look at the dealer. That would be something that I think these guys need to really focus more on in terms of profitability, time effectiveness, time management rather, and
no wasting of material. How many times have we kind of
waste?
Oh no, it didn't fit. Guess where it goes? It goes into a big ball, and it's a joke, right?
Absolutely.
Because then you have this ball of damping material in the shop that everybody tries to grow, but really, that's not what you want. Really, you want to, use every square inch of that material to maximize, like you said, Duane, the profit. Again, the time savings on the installation side, and also the finished look for the customer. I mean, every good shop should take pictures of their install to show the customer before the panels put back on. I know, Dave, you and I have talked about this. You want to charge the dollar? Well, show them the work.
Yep, I agree 100%. So, and again, this is something we're going to continue to grow with. This list just continues to grow, and it's even hard for me to keep up unless. Not before the press release, but I'll get information from the office. We've just finished this car, and then a couple of days later we sent out a press release. But it's growing fast.
One third thing, and I have a question for Dave right after this one is: did you say 5 point something dB difference in a Tesla after putting
just right at 5, like 4.9 dB, and that is substantial when we talk about isolating sound and more than double. I mean, obviously doubles at 3 dB. So that's
or half, depending on how you're looking at it. Half,
exactly.
Right.
So, and then you may wonder, how do we test this? We do. We basically meter it, very similar to what we would call an RTA or real-time analyzer, but these are built into the phone, and we have a mic, and we place the mic in the area that where you're going to focus on for sound. And then with the testing we base this on different speeds and different terrain. And then we just, obviously we do it before and then we do it after once we fully have dampened the vehicle. And that's when we get the results. And, and again, a huge difference on the Tesla. But on average, with the majority of these custom cut kits, we're getting at least a 3 dB difference, at least, minimum.
Amazing. So like basically from the sound side of things, you only need half the power, right? Basically, it's what we're talking about. Dave, you've heard the term, Dynamat's used it. Not all materials are created equal. I'd like to hear your thoughts now that we've gone through this presentation together.
Well, there's definitely not one product that can, address all the different things that are going on inside the vehicle. When Duane was showing the initial slides there, and you saw the array of different solutions that Dynamat had, it's to address these different applications. Superlight, for example, that he mentioned. If you're into performance vehicles and having the minimum amount of weight is important to you, but you want to, reject some of that noise, some of that heat, that's a great solution. You're getting rid of some of the heat through Dynalighter, drone through Dynapad. If you've got a diesel truck or, something like that, where you get that annoying, exhaust drone or whatever. So these are all specifically designed products designed to address a specific problem, right? There's just not one product that's going to do it all. So I'm glad that Duane took the time to kind of explain what each one of those products are. But obviously our bread and butter is in the Extreme product. And while we do have a number of different Extreme SKUs, it's the same product, just cut up to different shapes and sizes. Some of it makes sense for over-the-counter sales. Perhaps somebody just wants something to, kill a rattling on his license plate. He doesn't need a big bulk sheet. So
aren't there license plate kits? I thought I seen that.
Yeah, we still have the license plate kits. So
or
the frame with a 4x10 rectangular Extreme. Yeah.
Or maybe they need to address their whole trunk. So they've done a really good job, with categorizing, packaging the products, for specific needs and customers.
I'm going to argue, I don't think there's another brand that has the type of offering or packaging or categories, I suppose, the way that Dynamat has done it. And just for clarity, you said the Extreme, Dave, the custom cut kits, is that using Extreme material as well?
Correct.
Okay.
That is utilizing Extreme.
So we're going to touch on this a little bit. We now understand the offering. We understand what makes Dynamat different, a little bit of the history, where and the latest being those custom cut kits. Like, what does the future hold now? Can you speak to a little bit about where it's going? We know there's been recent, new management. I suppose it was that 3 years now. I think it's been in place.
Yeah, getting close to it.
Close to it. We've seen it. Go to the website. Go to the materials.
Yeah,
there's a new
packaging, new website. We're manufacturing. I mean, a lot of changes in the last 2 years.
But now you've been there for a while, so you've experienced and lived through all this. Where do you see this going now that everything's kind of taking shape?
I can see in the future that if we go back to the EV, circle, you're talking about we want to be basically in 5 years where we could become the go-to for just about any of the EV vehicles, like Lucid Motors, Rivian, all the Tesla vehicles, where we already have a kit for those vehicles. Because like I said, I think we're the first ones that actually developed, the Model 3 Tesla. And again, they approached us. So we're already working with these companies on other ventures, but all I can see is more growth. We continue to grow this category. I can see it going into commercial, industrial, OEM. So there's a lot of applications. We partnered up with a couple of generator companies that have specific product that's cut for like the boxes that create the heat. So they use Dynalighter, quite a bit of our Dynalighter. They buy the bigger rolls of it. So that's what I kind of see. I just see it's growing more, especially in the custom cut kits. The list just keeps geting added.
No doubt. That catalog is definitely. I mean, so much you've done in such a short period of time. Recently of late, and now right now there's a Model 3. Are we expanding the Tesla line to, like, let's say, include X and other stuff as well?
Right now, I think, and again, we have a lot of things on the plate right now. I can't really disclose at this point as far as what we're going to be coming out with, because obviously press releases and
right.
Time.
But you're busy.
But yeah, exactly. So yeah, we have several things that we're working on. That a lot of balls in the air, as Mike always says.
He does say that, absolutely.
Yep.
All right, now I'm gonna focus down on your years and years of experience on the sales side.
Yes.
It's great that we tell all these dealers, the features and the benefits and what the products are and the applications. Let's give them a little bit of advice from a sales standpoint, how to include this, how to maximize this. And I'm going to get Dave to chime in first, but I'm going to ask you first, Duane.
Sure.
Can you give us some advice on how to improve or maximize their sales in this category?
So here's the thing. I don't have just one single dealer that has a solution for everyone. Not one dealer's doing the same thing as another. I have dealers that make it part of their every install. If they install the speakers, it's going to get Dynamat. I have some dealers that will do a good, better, best package, where maybe the good is maybe just adding the speaker kit. So for every coax, every speaker I sell, I make it part of it. Whether I work it out with labor, I kind of put together a package. So this is like do you want like a basic install? Do you want the premium install? Do you want this, that kind of thing?
Like packaging the level of install.
Exactly. So I see a lot of this going on out there. The other thing is, you have to almost treat this category, and I come from the retail side from 30 some plus years ago on the car audio side, when back in the heydays, right? And you sold the head unit. What did you sell with the head unit? You sold a harness, you sold the kit, you sold maybe an antenna adapter, other peripheral stuff that went with it. You sell the speakers, you want to make sure that you are attaching the speaker kit to the coaxials. If you're adding components, you obviously want to add more material to the door panel to get more effective amplifier output. So you want to hear more music, sell them a door kit, but you've got to drop these seeds in, say, by the way, you're buying these, whatever, XYZ, Focals, whatever. You need to add this door kit because I want you to get the best performance out of these speakers. And beyond the fact that I can make it sound 3 dB louder, I can put this into a door panel that's a 22K sheet metal door with holes in it. And is it really good? It's going to sound okay, but is it really playing to its optimum? And it's really not. So the bottom line is, think of it as no different. I use that head unit analogy because I think that's one of the best ways to look at it. And if you attach it that way, I think that you'll see more sell through, better. You'll definitely move through more product. And then your profit's going to go up because, again, you don't have to hassle with it. Once it's installed, it's there.
Dave, your comments to add to this?
I've heard some of the things that Duane mentioned, and I love the idea of dealers doing the good, better, best. Like we said, there's some extreme packages that come with that are available as a speaker kit. So it's a small piece of material. That could be included with every speaker sale, and then the more elaborate, more extensive installs, could have a bigger kit. But at the end of the day, this product has to be presented to sell. It's if you purchase the product, put it in your showcase and let it sell dust, don't be surprised that you're not selling product. When you look at your stock in 60 days and you see it's still there. I mean, it doesn't jump out and yell at customers, buy me. It's definitely, it has to be part of the selling process. When you're selling the speaker, you need to bring up the fact that there's a performance advantage to adding this product at the same time you're doing an installation. And, we have some POP materials that you could put on your counter, such as this as a reminder. This kind of shows
conversation starter. Conversation starter, yeah.
Exactly, and then you could, explain all the different products that are there. And obviously, active displays are great. We're working on some ourselves, but I mean, simple things such as the coin demo that we make available, right?
Been around forever, and it gets its point across.
Cheap and effective.
I like that. That's the one that got me, is the little bell, the ringer bell with the little tiny piece.
Still have the bells.
Anything on it.
Yep.
It really makes such a big difference at the end of the day when you're able to, throw a coin on the desk and, that's untreated, and then, a treated one.
Thud.
Bang, right there. You didn't have to invest thousands of dollars into showcasing it a different way.
You nailed it though, Dave. Like, let's be honest. Okay, let's be honest. This is not, nobody comes in to your store and starts opening dialogue with you about sound editing before talking about speakers or radios. Nobody. Like, you have to be actively incorporating this into your pitch, into your process, right? And again, I'm going to circle back to what Duane said. This stuff doesn't cause 5 tech support phone calls and emails or a firmware update 6 months down the road.
Exactly.
Yeah, no warranty, no failures, no nothing.
I'm gonna ask a question here. I just thought about it right now. What if you had a display that shows your top speakers that you're selling in your store with, let's say Dynamat behind it, and then right next to it the same speakers without, and you top down sell. We always talk about top down selling. Well, you sell the experience with it, and then when you take it away, like, whoa, hold on a second, right?
Right, exactly. And sorry, thinking back to my Circuit City days, that's how they demoed Dynamat, because I was selling it back in the 90s. And they would have panels that would have one with Extreme, one with, well, back then it was Dynamat Original, and then the other one with it, with it and without. And it was a big difference. Which one you want, this one, or you want the B side here? So it was, and there are some active displays out there, companies that are doing some things with active switching, where you can go from a factory to an aftermarket, and then aftermarket to a aftermarket with with the material. So again, that's something that's more tangible, and the consumer can actually hear a difference. So I would just say, try to come up with a plan that you would make this important in every time that you pitch any of those the items we were talking about, speakers, amplifiers, subwoofers, because the consumer, bottom line, they want to be able to maximize what they bought, and why would you not talk about damping?
It should just be part of the conversation. Duane, we're out of time, but thank you so much for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks
for
having
your knowledge with us and keeping us up to date with what's going on in the Dynamat camp. And we certainly do look forward to having you back sometime soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Ben. Take care.
Duane. Mr. Singh, lots of SKUs we talked about today. I'm going to throw you. I'm going to put you on the table again. Which one is your favorite, and the one that you want dealers to say, you know what, if you're not doing, sound deadening, or maybe you're with another brand, what do you need to try? Because with that, you'll be sold.
Well, the Extreme product is the bread and butter, and if I was a dealer, I would invest into either a bulk or a mega pack. These are the two largest sheets that we have available, and if you're using them in the install bay, dealers of course have the ability to cut down the sheets and apply it as necessary, but it offers the most cost savings because it is bulk. But you can do an entire door, you can do a floor pan, you can do whatever it is. So a bulk pack or a mega pack from Dynamat is definitely an option. But if you're a Jemson dealer, and you're not doing Dynamat, reach out to us and we'll send you a speaker kit for free. And just
free.
Hey, we'll put our money where our mouths are, and definitely supply you with a speaker kit that you can evaluate, hang on your slat wall or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, we really believe in this product so much so that we offer an additional 1 year warranty.
I was just going to say, there's an incentive plan from Jemson with Dynamat. Go ahead.
It's not all fluff. There is real performance advantages. There's mid-bass advantages. We're putting speakers in these big cavities inside a door, and they've got a lot of holes, and we're trying to mimic what an enclosure would be like, and treating those doors, getting rid of the rattles, trying to seal up some of those holes, all that type of stuff are all very important, and they will affect the performance of the speakers. Sometimes people will try to overcome that lack of bass because of poor insulation by cranking up the volume, and then they're blowing up speakers
or the gain
or whatever it is. So by installing this product, we know that the speakers are going to perform better, and we're going to give you an additional year of warranty on any brand of speakers that Jemson supplies, as long as that customer buys Dynamat at the same time. So,
Brilliant. Hey, dealer tuning in, if you want more information, new website was dynamat.com. And if you're a Canadian dealer and you like Dave's face and what he's saying, give them a call, jemson.com. They'll set you up with the Dynamat account. Free door kit to try before you buy. That's what Dave just said. And additionally, 1 year warranty if you're already buying, speaker brands from Jemson.
Free speaker kit. I apologize if I said door kit. I meant speaker kit. Yeah, there we go.
Kit. Very clear. Good one, Dave. Good getting caught up on Dynamat today. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks, Ben. Appreciate the time.
We'll talk to you soon.
Take care.
That was both Dave Singh and Duane Gray from Dynamat, reminding you who's the OG, what they're up to, custom cut kits, awesome, and some great offers from Jemson. You can't beat that. Reminding you to tune into CMA Networks right through till June 29th. We've shifted gears. We are now talking about mobile audio accessories as well as mobile video. A couple clutch brands up there that we'll be going deep one-on-one with right through till June 29th. And of course, if you want more videos, you like what you see here, check out cmanetworks.com. New search tools so you can watch literally hundreds of different videos. Search by either brand, by category, or even your favorite trainer. Both Dave and Duane have profiles on cmanetworks.com, so check that out. Thanks for hanging in there for this CMA Connected presented by SiriusXM. I'm your host, Ben Wu. Until next time, we connect.
Stop it. Yo, roll it down.
I am.
You don't need a car to listen to SiriusXM. You can listen anywhere. You know that, right?
What? Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio.
Kevin, you could use your phone.
What? What?
Alexa, play Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio on SiriusXM.
What?
This is how I know you're getting old. I guess that was it.
What?